What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news. And before I get into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, I have another exclusive big announcement for you guys, and that is that the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred will be releasing spring 2025. I talk more about that later on in the video. As well, we have a first look at the Air Jordan 6 Olympic and much more from Jordan Brand. Also included in the video is a lot of news from Nike and one thing from Puma. And now, without wasting too much more of your time, let's jump into the news. Starting this video off with Puma, they have an upcoming collaboration with PlayStation, which will include sneakers and apparel. As for the sneakers, we have 2 pairs of the Puma Suede and 2 pairs of the RSX dropping. Both shoes will either come in a gray or black base. As for the Suede, it features PlayStation branding repeated throughout. The PlayStation buttons also land on the tongue, and additional branding is placed on the insoles. As for the RSX, it features the same branding on the tongues, and then it's cut out on the toe box. In addition, each pair will come with special PlayStation and Puma packaging. As for a release date, all 4 pairs will drop on April 18th. The retail price for the Suede is $100, while the RSX will cost $120. Moving on to Nike, and we have a first look at a couple new shoes. One of those is the Nike SB PS8. This pair is also known as the Problem Solver 8, which is a tribute to Sandy Bodecker, whose Instagram name is @ProblemSolver8. Furthermore, the shoes aim to solve 8 distinct problems discovered by the Nike Sports Research Lab and Nike Team skaters. Now, all the details have yet to be unveiled, but the shoes will feature a combination of Flyknit and leather with PU coating on the upper. The shoes are also constructed with a unique foam compound and nylon plate, which allows for responsiveness during skating. Now, the shoes will release. They are expected to debut in July, although we don't have a specific release date, and the retail price will be $120. Nike is also going to release a new breakdancing shoe known as the Nike Jam. Now, to my recollection, this is the only pair specifically made for breakdancing, although back in the 80s or even late 70s, they would use various models, typically from Puma or even Adidas, to breakdance. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games will be the first time that breakdancing is included in the Olympics. According to Nike, the model was created with the help of professional breakdancers and years of research. Constructed with a combination of mesh, leather, and suede, they also come in a low-cut build, which is said to help breakdancers perform various footwork in their routines. The pair also features a drop-in midsole, allowing the wearer to have a low-to-the-ground feel and absorbing impact, while the traction on the outsole is based on data from Nike Sports Research Lab. Now, one of the things I do like about the shoe is the upside-down swoosh, so when you're doing head spins or 90s, it'll actually be the right way. Back in high school, I used to breakdance a little bit. I wasn't really good, but I was decent at pop locking. So this shoe is a definite pickup for me, and as for a release date, they are expected to debut July 2024, and the retail price will be $120. Patta has officially unveiled their Nike Air Huarache Plus Pack, which consists of 3 colorways. The good news is we do have release details, but before I get to that, we're going to go over 3 colorways briefly. The first pair comes dressed in black, cool gray, and sandrift. The second features a saffron quartz, cool gray, and sandrift color combination, while the last pair comes in white, cool gray, and sandrift. Now, there's additional colors going on that aren't listed in the color description, but I'll make sure to include photos of all 3 pairs. Now, as for a release date, all 3 are scheduled to debut on April 26th via Patta. Now, there will be a wider release, but it'll only be for the saffron quartz and the black pair, which will take place on May 2nd. They will be available on the Sneakers app, and unfortunately, if you're a fan of the white, cool gray, and sandrift pair, it has some pink detailing, that will be an exclusive to Patta. Also, the retail price is $160 each. Recently, new images of the Nike Air Force 1 Low Linen popped up And for those that don't know, this is a big deal. So this shoe was originally part of Nike's Code.jp series and was exclusively available in Japan. In 2016, we saw another release, but this time it was an exclusive to Kiss Miami store during Art Basel. So for the first time in summer 2024, they will be available as a GR to the public. Now this pair features a linen, atmosphere, and true white color combination. And as you can see from these photos, they look pretty on point to the 2016 pair. Actually, I kind of like them more. And the material used is actually really solid, at least from these photos. Now, although we have new images, unfortunately, we don't have a release date. They are expected to debut summer 2024. I have a feeling that a release is just around the corner though, and the retail price is $135. New images of the Nike KD4 Nerf recently popped up, which of course gives us a better look. For those that don't know, this shoe originally released on December 17th, 2011, and the shoes were rumored to be limited to around 300 pairs. They also came with special packaging. Now, as for the 2024 release, this time around, they won't be limited, but it isn't known if they will come with special packaging. The retail price is bumped up from $130 to $150, so there is a possibility. However, on the other side, it could just be that Nike needs to bump it up to cover the fees that they have to pay to Nerf to use their name. I really like what they've done with the KD4, the retro of the shoes. I feel like the color placement, the overall shape, everything is on point. So other than that, there's not too much new information. I don't believe I shared though the release month because we do have that, at least for now, and that is July. Now it's possible it could be pushed forward or back. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific date, and the retail price will be $150. Last up from Nike, we have another first look at an upcoming Nike SB Dunk Low. This pair is known as Trocadero Gardens. Now, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I do apologize. This is another pair that will celebrate the 2024 Olympic Games, which are being held in Paris. And for those that don't know, Trocadero is an architectural build which overlooks the Eiffel Tower. Now, when images first popped up, a lot of people were calling them Neapolitan, and I kind of get that due to the colorway. It does have Neapolitan ice cream vibes. But to go over the pair, they feature brown suede on the ankle and toe box, while the same hue covers the liner and laces. Pink fills in the side panel, while the swoosh logos are done in gray nubuck. The same shade also wraps the toe box, and although not confirmed, there's some speculation that the shoes may feature a tearaway layer. Other than that, we have the Nike SB label in pink with brown streaks on the tongue, and then the Nike SB branding on the insoles features a cracked look resembling dry mud. Lastly, a marbleized rubber outsole completes the look. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but this pair is expected to debut fall 2024, and the retail price will be $125. Yesterday, Jordan Brand unveiled the Luka 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from their press release. Then I'm going to go over the upcoming colorways and the release dates. So it reads, tuned for creating maximum separation from defenders, the Luka 3 is designed to provide balance to the stop-on-a-dime gameplay of Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic. The Luka 3 evolves the isoplate, a technology specifically developed for Doncic, by widening the lateral out trigger and removing sections of the plate's sidewall to reduce weight. The shoe features full-length Cushlon 3.0 foam for smooth heel-to-toe transition. Together with the isoplate, the Luka 3 midsole system is designed for accelerating out of the off-speed transitions, like moving out of the step back and attacking the basket. The shoe allows players to take full advantage of lateral and diagonal movements. The isoplate produces torsional rigidity to keep the player locked in over the footbed. Cutouts along the lateral toe box include a neoprene-like barrier, allowing the toes to flex just enough on aggressive cuts without forsaking containment. The real-life inspiration for the Luka 3 comes from his love for high-performance sports cars. The properties of an elite car, the motor to propel forward, the chassis for control and agility, translated to Luka's game, where he uses speed and control to his advantage for an offensive arsenal that's nearly impossible to guard. Part of the shoe's design is inspired by a tire decelerating and accelerating at top speeds. The outsole features a generative herringbone pattern and is inspired by racing tire traction. Other details are more subtle, such as the pull tabs modeled after the material of seat belts and the wavy striations on the engineered textile upper inspired by high speeds. The Luka 3 builds off the performance benefits of the Luka 2 and raises the floor for sustainability throughout the Luka franchise. For the first time, every Luka 3 colorway achieves a Tier 2 sustainability score, meaning each shoe is made with at least 20% recycled material by weight. Alright, so that is the end of the press release. We now have 2 colorways. The first one is known as Midnight Racer, and the other pair is known as Photo Finish. Now, the Midnight Racer is a nod to Luka's post-game drives. It's highlighted in pink and purple swirls with a mint green ISO plate. The pair is inspired by night drives at higher speeds. Now, the second pair is known as Photo Finish and is a tribute to Luka's love for cars. Dressed in white for a closer race, the shoes also feature shades of pink, green, and yellow. Each pair comes with a translucent rubber outsole. As for a release date, the first pair to release is the Midnight Racer, which will take place in Europe on July 5th. Currently, it isn't known when the Midnight Racer will be available globally. Now, the second pair, which will be available across the globe, is the Photo Finish, and this pair drops on July 11th. The retail price is $130 each. Let me know your thoughts on the Luka 3. I'm actually a big fan of his signature series, and personally I think they get better with each release. But hey, that's just look-wise, I don't know about the performance, and let me know your thoughts down below. Each video, we have to have a few sets of official photos, and the first pair I'm going to go over is a grade school exclusive. It's the Air Jordan 4 Hyperviolet. I take that back. It's not a grade school exclusive. It's a kids exclusive, which will be available in grade school, preschool, and toddler sizes. Featuring a simple white and hyperviolet colorway, the shoes feature mostly white throughout, and then we have hyperviolet detailing. Now, one thing I didn't notice prior was on the tongue label, there's actually water droplets. Now, I don't know if this is how the retail pair is going to come or if Jordan Brand made a mistake with the photos. Maybe they got a little wet in the process. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Now, if this is a pair you're interested in grabbing, they drop on April 26th. The retail price for grade school is $150. Preschool is priced at $90, and toddler sizes will retail at $75. The first Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack TR to release will be the University Red pair. Now, I know the Cell pair had a limited drop on Travis Scott's website, but I don't really know anybody who actually got through. And that shoe will actually release a couple days after this one, but both models are expected to be available at more retailers. So this will be, I guess, the first general release, although I don't expect them to be a GR, probably leaning towards the limited side. But yeah, recently official photos popped up giving us a better look. They're okay. If I had to pick between the two, I personally like the Cell pair a little better. You guys might remember there was a few different iterations of the Jordan Jumpman Jack. I'm not sure what happened to those pairs, but personally I think this one is the best as far as the model. I'm a big fan of the midfoot strap, but for me personally, I think the overall hype and just people wanting them kind of kills it for me. I'm sure if this was just a regular silhouette from Jordan Brand without the collab, I would appreciate them a lot more. But again, that's just my opinion. Now, if you're interested in buying these, they also drop on April 26th, and the retail price will be $200. Let me know your thoughts on the model. Do you like it? And then specifically on the University Red pair, are you planning on grabbing them on April 26th? In one of my past videos, I showcased official photos of the Air Jordan 1 High OG Team Red. Now, nothing has changed as far as the release date. However, the shoes recently popped up on the Sneakers app, and they're calling them Artisanal Red. Yes, the colorway is still white and Team Red, and I'm going to read the description from the Sneakers app. With the court as MJ's canvas, his unmatched artistry on the hardwood cemented him as the most skilled hooper in the trade. It's all thanks to his mind-bending genius in the air and unrivaled ability to finish each masterpiece with flair and charisma. MJ's brilliance is reflected in this artisanal red edition of the AJ1 High. Like his famed fadeaway jumper and smooth attitude to match, this clean colorway delivers timeless style that's worthy of its own exhibition. Go ahead, find your canvas and honor the legacy. Now, I swear somebody over at Nike has Chat GPT writing for them, and some of this stuff is really cheesy. Now, this isn't as bad as some of the other stuff I've read in the past. And yeah, that's cool. They're trying to get a theme going to the shoe. I'm not knocking it. I actually like the colorway. But in my opinion, I definitely feel like they're trying a little too hard here. And I don't see the connection between this colorway and what they're trying to describe here. But hey, that's just my opinion. I wanted to kind of go on a rant about that because when I initially read it, I was just kind of like, what is this? Anyways, it's a cool colorway. They drop on April 27th. The retail price in men's sizing is $180, grade school costs $140, preschool is priced at $85, and toddler sizes will cost $70. I don't want to flood my videos with new J Balvin Air Jordan 3 Rio pics every time a new set comes up. So this will probably be the last time I feature them for some time until official photos either come out or a release date change happens, anything like that. But we've only had 2 good sets of photos. In a few videos ago, I think it was, maybe it was sooner than that, the first set of decent photos came out. But now we have some new images and I wanted to share that with you guys. So I won't go over the look because I've done that several times, but I will mention that there is 2 versions. One is a sample version. You might have seen images going around where the elephant print is a lot lighter, but the retail pair, which is shown, it'll be darker. Something I personally like a lot more. And for those that don't know, the pair is a tribute to his son Rio, and they will feature a black, solar flare, total crimson, and abyss color combination. Now, there's a lot of release dates getting moved around. I plan on doing a video either tomorrow or the next day showcasing all the new release dates. But for now, this pair is set to debut on May 22nd. They will be on the limited side. They won't be available at just any retailer. Yes, the sneakers app will have them, and I'm sure a good amount of boutiques, but again, they're not going to be available just anywhere, and the retail price will be $250. Somebody recently left a comment on one of my previous videos asking when we would get a first look at the Air Jordan 6 Olympic, and I wasn't sure. I thought it would be a little bit later on, but only a few days later, we received a first look. So here it is, and right off the bat, I'm liking the overall shape on the 2024 pair a lot, and I mean a lot better on the 2012. In my opinion, these look really good, the overall shape, the look, and just to run it back, the first time this shoe released was in the year 2000, and it was released for the Sydney Olympics. Back then, it was worn by Ray Allen. Like I mentioned, the shoes also released in 2012. Back then, when they dropped, they were to celebrate the Olympic Games in London. Now, the third time they're dropping will be to celebrate the Olympic Games in Paris during 2024. We do have a release date, which I'll get to in a moment, but the pair features a white, varsity red, and midnight navy color combination. Now, I remember when I announced that these would be returning, a lot of people were upset because they wanted the Air Jordan 7 Olympic, and I 100% agree. I feel like that shoe needs a retro ASAP, but as of now, there's no plans for that shoe to return. I would think they would want to release it around the Olympics, and in my opinion, this would have been a perfect opportunity for that. Now, as for the release date, this pair is scheduled to debut on July 20th, and the retail price is $200, although that might bump up to $210, but for now, I have it at $200. Let me know your thoughts on the Olympic Air Jordan 6. I know it's a classic colorway, people do like it, they just feel that Jordan Brand should have released the Air Jordan 7 Olympic before we got a retro, which I totally agree. Now, I'm sure for most of you, the biggest news of this video is the release of the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred. Yeah, I was pretty excited to hear it and shocked as well. But yes, for spring 2025, Jordan Brand will release the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred. Now, this is a classic colorway. We've seen various, and I mean a lot of iterations of this shoe debut. I did a ton of research last night just trying to track down every pair that released. And honestly, I'm not going to waste anybody's time with regular low top or mid top drops, although I'm not taking away from the shoe, they're just too many. But as far as main releases go, the shoes have released a total of 11 times, including once in low top form with Nike Air branding. The shoes were first released in 1985, as many of you already knew, and the first retro of the shoe took place in 1995. Now, a lot of websites have it marked as 1994, but about a year ago, I was informed that it couldn't have been in 1994 because the shoes on the production tag reads December 1994, I believe, and there's no way possible that the shoes could be produced, put together, then shipped to the United States, and then released to the public less than a month. So 1995 is when they actually hit retailers. And the 1995 pair didn't receive the same reception as it did in 1985. In fact, the shoe would go on sale and cost people around $20. I wish I was into shoes around then. Well, I was, but I wasn't picking up every release. It was whatever the latest Air Jordan Michael Jordan was wearing at that time. But fast forward to 2001, we saw another retro of the shoe take place. And then in 2008, Jordan Brand released the Air Jordan 1 High in black and red, but this time it had a strap. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was multiple pairs that came with a strap. It definitely was a different look, but I kind of liked it. Now, one of the best as far as quality goes of the black and red Air Jordan 1 to release was in 2011. Now, Jordan Brand actually called this pair the banned Air Jordan 1, and they're really trying to play off that the Air Jordan 1 was the shoe that was banned by the NBA, but we all know that it was actually the Airship. Anyways, that shoe is really dope, but they messed up and was released only at outlets. Now, what they messed up on was the date on the insoles. The date on the insoles was October 18th, 1985, but it should have been October 18th, 1984. Fast forward 2 years, and in 2013, the Bred Air Jordan 1 released again. In 2015, Jordan Brand released a low-top version of the Bred Air Jordan 1, which didn't do too well at the time. However, in recent years, the resale price shot up on them a lot. Now, 2013 was the last time I spoke about the Air Jordan 1 releasing in, I guess you can call it true to OG form, although it really wasn't. However, I believe in 2014 or 2015, Jordan Brand introduced the remastered series. Now, what they did was update the overall shape of various Air Jordans to make it closer to the OG version. So we eventually got the Air Jordan 1 High OG, and in 2016, the brand released the black and red colorway, and once again, they were playing off the band nickname. The same year, there was a satin version that was released, and they were only available at a pop-up shop in New York on October 18th, and they were limited to 501 pairs. In 2021, Jordan Brand would introduce a new series known as Reimagined, which is still ongoing. A lot of us know it. And the first pair to debut, part of that series, is known as Bred Patent or Patent Bred, whatever you want to call them. They came in the classic colorway, but instead of leather, they featured patent leather throughout. The last time we saw the shoes release was in 2023. This time, the Satin Bred was released once again, but this time, the shoes were a women's exclusive. So as you can see, there's been a lot of times that this shoe has dropped. And this isn't counting like the AJKO mids and stuff like that. Now, for the 85 high version, as you know, the overall build will be closer to the OG pair. It's slightly taller than the retro high OG. The swoosh is also slightly bigger, and the overall toe box has been updated to reflect the 85 pair. Now, you can expect the color blocking to mimic that of the original pair. They're not going to do any reimagined stuff on it. I couldn't imagine them doing it. Typically, the reimagined series is left for the high OG or different models, but it hasn't landed on the Air Jordan 1 High 85. Also, I know that Jordan Brand, what they want to do from here on out, or actually since several years ago, any true OG colorway without any twist to it when it comes to the Air Jordan 1 will be placed on the Air Jordan 1 High 85. So in my opinion, this is great news. I am a fan of the overall build and obviously this colorway. I think everybody's a fan of the colorway. And as for a release date, we don't have a specific one, but they are expected to debut spring 2025, and the retail price is expected to be $200. Now, more than likely, this will drop during All-Star Weekend, but that hasn't been confirmed. You know, it's kind of crazy the amount of good releases they have coming in 2025. I thought it was going to be really hard for Jordan Brand to compete with the holiday 2024 season, but they're starting it off strong. I mean, we know of a handful of shoes, and those shoes have all been great in my opinion. So let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this pair releasing. I keep wanting to say returning, but technically it's not because this is a brand new build, and the Bred colorway is released on pretty much every other variation of the Air Jordan 1, with the exception of the Air Jordan 1 High 85. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. As well, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Speaking of new videos, I'm either going to drop one tomorrow or the next day. I have some more stuff to cover, but I didn't want to overload this video. There's already a lot of good stuff. The announcement of the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred was pretty big news, so I wanted that to be the focus of this video. Also, you can expect me to drop a couple shorts throughout the week. Like always, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave that down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.